So in this session, we are going to discuss about the cascading style sheets and different properties of cascading style sheets available in our CSS2 and CSS3 and how to apply them in our HTML page design so that we can improve the layout and look and feel presentation of our web page. First is regarding the introduction about the CSS is as I told it is deals with only the presentation aspect of the web page. So it is doesn't deal with our any content or whatever. So the structure of the website is decided by the HTML, and for the structure the presentation by adding colors, aligning to the proper content, everything is done with our CSS. So this HTML focus on content and structure, and my CSS describe the appearance, layout and presentation of the information which is given by the HTML. So in this session we are going to have two objectives. First objective is how to set my CSS to HTML file. So how to set and what are the elements and for what are the components of the HTML code I can set the CSS. And second objective is to find what are the CSS properties available for giving the presentation look of the HTML elements. So these are the two main objectives we are going to focus in this discussion of this session 3. So before going to that, we should know how to specify the styling information to the any tags or any properties of the HTML page. So the style rule is nothing but the selector followed by the curly brace and the declaration. So the declaration will have the format of specifying the CSS property colon property value. So this is the declaration for the selector. So the any CSS style should be declared in this syntax, right? So next we are going to see about example is the paragraph tag. This is a selector here, and the property I'm going to set for this tag is the color property which is set to the value red. So this example for styling rules here. And next is we will be focusing on the declaration. So this is a declaration. The two ways how I can declare the style, either in a single line or this one is. So most preferred one is this because it is in a neat layout and we can read, is also more readable, right? So that we can understand what is the styling information I have given for this paragraph tag. Next comes your selectors. What are the different types of selectors we have? The basic thing we should know. Nowadays it is the combinations of many have come. So first one is I can give the styling for my elements type. I can make it for ID and I can use it for class and I can group the styling information also. It is called group selectors, and also we call it as a star. This is called as the universal selector. Okay, so these are the things I can use it. So first in the previous case we have seen this tag element. So I can set it for a paragraph tag, I can set it for header 1 tag, header 2, I can set it for image tag, table tag, many tags which your HTML page has. For everything I can set this. So this is called element selector. And if I set, so even if I have a paragraph, we know that paragraph is we can have ID for the paragraph, right? So para 1. Then I can have some content welcome. So this ID for particular the paragraph with the ID set to para 1 alone, if I want to specify the style, I can specify like this. So how to specify the selector represent as ID means I should put hash in before the selector name. So hash para 1. So this is called ID selector. So then I'll have all of my CSS properties and their values here. And next selector is our class selector, where I specify the class. The same thing, the paragraph can be identified with the help of the class value also. So I make this to be center, and then I put the some other statement here, welcome as usual, then P, right? Now what happens here, the paragraph tag with the class ID center alone, this style align center will be applicable. So this how to specify with the dot selector. Okay. So this syntax rule, and One more selector, the grouping of this, and one more thing is about the universal selector. I tell here itself, it is written in the PPT even though. So what I can do is grouping of selector for paragraph tag, for header 2 tag, and for the UL tag, some common thing you should have. For example, color to be green. If I want to set, what I'll do, I will put here. So meaning this text color green is set to all the four elements, that is paragraph, header 1, header 2, UL. The contents inside them will all be in the green color. And the universal selector is I put a star symbol, then I write this. I'll write, for example, text align left. So this applies mean, so the for the entire HTML page, the whatever text I put, if there is no property set, I can, its default set is left will be aligned. For all the content elements inside the particular HTML page, we can set this using the universal selector. Next comes role of CSS validator. What is the role of CSS validator? So this is to validate your CSS file, whatever you have written, CSS content of the any web page, to whether they have the proper syntax they followed, whether all the CSS properties whichever predefined alone is used, whether the value for the property is also whatever is prescribed is used. So to validate whether the CSS is written, styling information is written in a right format. That is the purpose of the CSS validator. So if you have created a file, HTML file with the CSS or a separate CSS file, first thing is you should validate with some online validator tools are available, that is given by W3C CSS validator tool, where you can upload your file and click the validate button. It will check each line, every style what you have given in the file, until if there is an error, it will indicate the error. Otherwise, your CSS file will pass the validation test. So next comes the types of CSS. So there are three ways how we can insert our CSS styling information to our HTML page is inline CSS. Inline, from the name you can understand that it is inline inside the tag. So whenever I want to specify the styling for the paragraph or any other elements, table, div, span, what I can do is I can make use of this style property of the tag and specify the styling declaration within the double quotes. The styling rules is same. That is my my property name and property value. And this declaration, if I have multiple styles, I will separate with the help of the semicolon, right? So in this, I have set two properties for my paragraph tag, where the style should be font family, that is sans serif, and my color to be red. So two styling information, one is font family, another one is color, which is separated by, so each CSS property should be separated by semicolon. Okay, so this I am giving the style information inside the tag itself. So it is called inline. So this is the way you can also use this way to include the style for corresponding elements in the HTML. So this is the example where I use two element H1 and paragraph tag. For H1 I set one style and paragraph I set one tag, which both are in inline the tag itself. So it is called inline CSS, right? So we got the output like this, where it is different colors. And next is your embedded. Embedded in the sense the particular styling is embedded in between the HTML code itself. So as an example, we have a head tag. In this I am putting the content. So you should use the style tag here. In the inline, we use style attribute of the respective paragraph tag. Now we are going to have the style tag, type equal to text / CSS, right? So paragraph H2, what other thing we are going to have? We have that. Okay. So this is example for this, where I used one. This is a class. I think you can recall this. This is a class selector, and this is what? It is a ID selector, and this is the element selector. So three different types of selectors used in this example for embedded CSS. So whatever styling I put inside this style, this is a style starting tag and this is a style ending tag, and others as usual HTML code. So inside a single HTML, for example, consider this name is single d.html, everything is coupled together. So here in between the HTML code, my styling information is embedded inside using the style tag. So it is called embedded CSS. So the output of this respective program where I given the information, so this is applicable. Next is the external. External in the sense my CSS file is to be in the external to my HTML. It is not to be inside the element or inside the code, in between the code. It is separately. Now my HTML is separated and my CSS is also separated. So that how I can pause, how to link them is with the help of the link tag. It is a link tag. These properties you should set, right? So href, you should give the file name. So in this case, what you will have is, I will have some HTML file and I will have some CSS file. Now I will have all my codings for paragraph tag, for h tag, for id tag or whatever. I can put in a common text file and save it as .a.hcss. And this is my HTML file where my content, everything will be added here. So what happens, I want to link the CSS to my HTML. That is possible with the help of this link. Href file name type equal to text slash CSS. So it represents it is a text file and the format extension is CSS. Rel represent it is a style sheet. Relationship, rel represent relationship of this particular file what I am linking to the current source file. Now this is a way how I can include my external CSS file into my HTML file. So what the benefit of having this external is, once I design, consider the scenario where I have multiple, a website will tell na. So this website will have many web pages. So these web pages all should have common styling information. Then only it looks like a attractive one for the user and they will understand they are in the same website, right? So if the color, pattern, everything changes, there will be a confusion whether we have used any other new web pages, right? For that, we can have a common CSS file and link that CSS file to multiple HTML file, right? So only once I write, put in a common place and use it on multiple place, right? So reusability is there. Maintenance of the styling is also in one control. It is easier to manage and there is a, so that I can give a good look and feel for throughout the entire web page, website design. So that is advantage of using external CSS. So always have a practice of having external CSS and use in that case. So this example where I have a two separate file, HTML file and CSS file. So this is a separate text file, this is a separate HTML file. When it is linked using this href external.css. So all the pattern styling information applicable to all the tags, then the output will be rendered in your web page. So this is first objective. So far we have discussed about regarding what are the different types of selectors we will be using and what are the different types of including my CSS into my HTML file. So selectors, we know that element selector, ID selector, class selector, grouping selectors and universal selectors. CSS, types of CSS is inline, embedded and external. So this is the summary of the previous objective. And second objective is we are going to discuss about what are the different properties available in our CSS to be set on the HTML page. So these are the properties which you are going to see now for understanding and giving the layout for my styling information to my web page. So first we focus on colors. So colors in the sense represent two way. One is a background color and one is a foreground color. So this color represents a foreground color and this represents a background color. I can specify this color to be red or I can specify using some hexadecimal value, or I can use the function called RGB, some values I can specify here. So here directly, this is called direct method, direct way of specifying the color, and this hexadecimal method where two digit is for one color, that we know that RGB. So if based on this variation color will be changing, right? And this is I call the function RGB with this is for red, this is for G, this is for blue. So this will give the text in the green color. So like this we can set either using any of these three and we can set the background of the foreground of the web page. So the example they tell, and grouping styles. C is comments. If I want to specify this comments, I should use this star. Within this, what are the comment statements you want to give, you can specify that. And regarding the properties of fonts, I am using font family. If I write any font, what are things we know? Font family I need, what is the size, what is the style, and what is the weight. So if I suppose I want to use Arial, I can put font family colon Arial. Size, if I want to make it as 12 points, 12 point. And if I want the style to be italist or normal, so regular character or italist. So if I want A like this or A like this, then font weight, whether it should be bold or normal, right? So bold, don't want bold, you can specify using these font properties, setting these properties. So this is the example for having all this. And next comes your text properties, where the text properties we have aligned, whether we need to align the text in the left, right, or justify what we usually have, and text direction, underline, whatever we need, rotate direction from left to right or right to left, in which way I should display, and color represent color of the text. Text shadow represent if I type A, if I some shadow effect I need, I can use this property. This property I can use the help of how much X shadow you want and how much Y shadow you want, and what this is called a radius will tell. So how much radius, so this much you want or small, that is called, so this represent your X and this represent your Y and this represent your radius, and what color you need, whether the shadow to be gray color or brown color or red color or what shadow. So that represents the fourth argument for this. And next is a text decoration. Decoration in the sense, if I type some text here A, B, C, D, whether I need to have an underline or overline or strike through or blink or what type of things. So this line, we have some properties, right? What's the line color? And what is the style of that line, and how the line should be. So the style represent whether dotted line, solid line, groove line or type, right? So double line like that. So you can thickness also I can specify whether I want the 12 point thickness, 1 point thickness, 2 point thickness. So these are the different sub properties of this text decoration. So you can specify individually in this manner, or in a shorthand notation you can use text decoration. So I am giving text decoration line, and this is the color, and this is the style, and this is the width. Okay, so you can thickness you can specify like this using shorthand. So this shorthand notation is applicable for all types of properties with subcategories. Okay, so text spacing, the text spacing is nothing but suppose I have a space, if I have something word I have welcome. So here what is the meaning here is what is the length of this text that we specify line height, and what is the letter spacing between in a word two letters, what is the spacing, letter spacing, and text indent, how much indent I should leave space, right? And this text indent and word spacing if I have welcome user, and what is the space I need to give between two different words, and white space is how much white space, whether you need to leave white spaces or no wrap, that is no need of white spaces, where if you want to have you can specify using this. So this is also done, it is having have sub properties, you can also do in a shorthand notation. And text transformation is uppercase, lowercase or capitalized, so you can use any of this. Next is style. List style type property is where we can have the bulleted list, what that we call it as an unordered list, that is we will have bullet. So the what is the type of bullet I want, square one, circle one, solid one, or like that. And similarly if I want some image, I can put the image using the URL specifying that. And if I want the ordered list, right, 1 2 3, or I can put ABC or capital Roman 1 2 3 or capital ABC. So that this is called list style, right? So that can be specified with this list style type property, specifying the respective format you want. And body styles is we can specify any types body for body tag, and whenever the body tag, if we apply any prop styling to the body tag, means it is applied to the entire page. And this cascading style sheets is called the cascading in the sense the more styling informations are cascaded one over the other and they executed in that particular manner. First the style will be applied in this order only. First the properties of the element depends upon the browser style, then external style sheets if you are done, and internal, then comes your inline style information. And inheriting styles and conflicting style. Inheriting style is nothing but whenever a parent is having a child tag, whatever the parent style information we have given, it will be applicable to the child also. So in this example, I have a body tag. Body will be the parent for all, right? So whatever font family background color is given, it is applicable for everyone. See, it is fully on the red color. Here in this tag, one more point here is I have this inheriting body tag and paragraph tag. In this case, what happens? The body tag has a background color yellow, but my paragraph tag has a background color aqua. Now what happens here? This paragraph tag will, for others it is yellow, but the paragraph alone it in different color here, right? So that means what? Even though it paragraph can inherit something from the parent, the it has its own style, right? So that will be applied first, given more preference than the others. Conflicting is same thing. If I have more than one styling information, in the previous case parent-child relationship also conflicting. Here also two different definitions is given for the single property of the same tag. In this case, we have the header 2. It is having the same color is here. It is blue. It is red. So which one is latest? Here the H2 is latest. So this will be applicable for this. So whenever conflict style happens, the latest style only will be given the precedence over the old one. And next is the backgrounds. If I want to set the backgrounds for the colors, my screen, that is a web page, I can set the background color, image, position, repeat, attachment and background. So background color, we know that what color. Image means what image I need to set. Position, whether to left, right or center or one, which position I'm going to set this. And background repeat is if I want to set some image as a background, whether I need to repeat the image or a single image or something, I can specify using this background repeat. And this background attachment is a new thing. What is the meaning here is if I have some window web page and I have some text here on the left side and I have some one small image on the right side, right? What happens whenever I scroll down, up and down, so this text will be, so consider it is more text I'm having. This will be moved up, right? So when scroll up it will move and scroll down it will move down. But what happens to my image? Whether they should stand stationary fixed or they should scroll along with the text. If I want to make my image to scroll along with the text, I should give the value for this background attachment to scroll. If I want the image to be fixed, not to scroll, not to move along with the text, then I should make it as a fixed here. So this you should decide and keep which value you need for the web page. So background also we can, since background is having more sub properties, we can set it in a single shorthand property also. So this is the example where I am able to set my image with the URL function. Then this is a repeat mode. I am repeating on the X. So it is on the X axis repeated. Draft is repeated. Suppose if I put repeat -y, the draft will be repeated like this on the Y axis. And position, so I give the position in the absolute value. So in that particular position it goes and display the image with no repeat. So in the previous case it is default, it is repeat. If this no repeat means it will not be, it is empty here. Only at the fixed position one image will be displayed here. So this is a shorthand notation of the background where with a single thing, instead of using this much 4 lines, I use only a single line to specify all the features which I need in the previous step. And next comes the box model. Box model is what means, where suppose I have, consider I take this text, this word, right? Now for each and every character a box will be created. That is called box model. Okay. Now this box, inside this C, the CLE, these are called contents. That only represented here. So C, content, and the space between the content and the border is called the padding. So this padding. Okay. So this is my text height, this is my padding, and the border thickness, margin thickness, and for this we have top, left, right and all for border, margin and padding. So we can fix how the text content inside the box should be displayed by setting these properties. So border properties is having style, width and border color. So when I draw the border around my text, what is the color, what is the style, whether I want the bold line, whether I want the dotted line, single line, like that. That is represented with style, right? So shorthand is noted. And margin, so that margin around the border, whether top, what is the top one, bottom, left and right, what pixel I should fix. And padding, property padding, the space, same thing. It also I can also specify on the four directions. I can specify that in a shorthand notation also. And here in this way of shorthand notation, if I give these four values separately, the meaning is first one is for top, second one is for bottom, third one is for right, left, right and left. Suppose I specify only three. Consider I give 2 pixel, 50 pixel and 75 pixel. So what happens is this will be for your top and bottom, and this is for right and this is for left. If I give only two, this will be for top and bottom, this is for right and left. So this feature is applicable for others padding also. And this height and width and pixel setting, padding, everything I am setting, right. This is the absolute value, correct value I am giving. This is the percentage value, where using this I can create a responsive web page. Okay, so what happens is whenever I have maximize my screen, whenever I minimize my screen. For example, I have one text image here. So this should be seen in the bigger size in the maximize screen. It should be seen in the smaller size in the minimize screen. But the same content should be displayed. So now this I can obtain is with the help of setting in the percentage. So if you're on based on the screen size 50 percentage, my inner content will size get adjusted. So here it is small, consider 1000 pixel, based on that inner one is here it is only 100 pixel, based on this will be reduced sync, so that the user can view the entire content even though they are viewing in a big screen or the small screen. So this way of programming is to get the web page have a good look and uniform view is called responsive web page. And styling links, the styling links is where we have a click here, right, a hyperlink anchor tag using that. So if I click on this, a color should change. If I keep my mouse over, color should change. And if I deactivate after viewing and close the event on come, I should change. So how is this possible? With the help of this a link, a visited, a hover and a active. So whenever link is stationary, it is just only loading, it is in a red color, a link. Visited means this link is already visited, means it will be showing in the green color. I think you hope you all seen this. When you visit any page, that link will be different color. So how I can set that color change? With help by setting this properties. A hover, if I mouse over the link, hover, it is called hover. And active is when it is currently I am viewing that particular page, means it will be active. So using these property styling set, we can obtain this styling links. So the example for this. And next is the display property. The display property specifies whether I need to specify the content in a block mode or inline mode. So block mode is nothing but whenever I give block mode, it will display on the new line. Inline means inside the line, it doesn't go to the inline. That is example. So if I want to set any element to be none means no display, or I can use block or inline, so that they can be displayed in the respective display manner. And next is the position property, where to position the position. If I fix in my screen, whether it should be fixed on one corner or one's position, or it should be relative to the content. Suppose I have a frame, inside this I have one image. When I shrink this frame, the image also should shrink. So relatively you should adjust this position. That is done by relative. Static is the static position what we have specified, it will be loaded every time. And fixed is in whatever the line you have given in your source code, the same thing will be fixed in your output page also. Absolute value, where I am putting the points rightly, x-axis, y-axis and size everything. And this is sticky, is they will be sticking over the content wherever they are scrolling, wherever we are linked to them. And Z index property is to give the stack order of an element. Suppose in a single container, I put an image, I put the text, I put the link, everything. So which one should be in front of one? So which one should be the front and which one should go to the background? So that we can be represented using this Z index value. So if I specify, I have three elements, right? I have for image Z index 1, and for this it is 2, and this for this it is 3. So the Z index who is having highest value will be on the top element, who is having lowest will be on the bottom one. And float property is used for positioning and formatting the content. So in the container, consider a container, a web page I have. Inside the web page, I can have a table or something. Inside this table, I want to put my image or text or whatever. Whether they need to float on the left or float on the right. So that I can use with the help of this float property. So these are the thing which is so far in the basic CSS property, and in CSS 3 the more features are added. So this is we are having with the collaboration with the CSS 2, they came up with a new work and they call all this as a module. Instead of properties, they call everything as a modules, which has different features like selector level 3, more levels. So far we have 2 levels, more 3 levels. The colors definition, also the improvised media queries based on the media device in which you are displaying the web page. Based on the some new queries has been given, a namespace is usage of namespace also introduced in CSS3. So these are some modules, selectors, box model, everything is going to be discussed in the CSS3. So the selectors, coming to selectors, they are having class level 3 here. So p dot intro selects p elements with intro as a class. It should be a paragraph, but a class ID should be. Div plus p means inside the div selects the first p tag in the div tag. So in my HTML code, a div tag will be there. Inside I can have multiple paragraph tag, right? So inside this div, which one is first for them, apply them. If I have div greater than symbol p, this styling is applicable to all the paragraph tags. Similarly, we can have more things which is found in this website. You can, for reference, you can check it for different CSS3 selectors level 3. And this CSS3 colors, coming to that, what the new feature we have seen is, already we know that 3 ways of how to specify that. And the new 2 ways is this one. RGBA 0, this is up to this 3 arguments. The last one newly added. This is called alpha, that is the opacity we call, opacity of the object. It ranges from 0 to 1 to specify the opaqueness and transparency. So if it is 1 means it is opaque and 0 means it is transparent. If you want to set that brightness, you can use this last argument. And HSL represents for hue, saturation and lightness. So this is my hue, this is my saturation, this is my lightness, it is given. So hue will represent a 360 degree. The hue is coloring scheme. 360-degree coloring scheme is been given. Each color will have respective degree. We have to specify that. And the saturation level also we can specify using this percentage. And this is the brightness, lightness, 50%. This to be for a black, or you want white. That is lightness. And this represent adding some gray color. How much percentage of gray color you need to add to the colors, so that you can give different variations of colors you can obtain by using the HSL. So that is the main benefit of that. And to that HSL we add this alpha also, similar to her, include the brightness, added the opacity. And this animation, the next third feature is animation in CSS3, where it uses the add keyframe rules for animations, and these are the properties which we need to set for setting the animations in our web page. So example, the animatable properties we use for this is, example, we have a div tag. So this is my div tag. I wrote this at move frames. So this is my rule. This is my animation name, from which this background color to this background color. You should start the animation and do this transition. So where I should apply this at rule, I should apply in my div, any element which has the ID as my div. So with everything, this is a normal what we have seen. This is the one thing I added, animation, my move, 5-second, infinite. So this represent my move is the add rule name. 5 seconds is animation should do. This service transmission from red to blue takes 5 seconds, and infinite number of times this should be keep on changing from red to blue, okay. And similarly the second one we have given, my move and delay, what is the delay, direction, alternate, and duration 3 second, iteration count 2. We can set this so that we can see the animation effect. And this resize and outline offset, we can resize the size of the property. We can allow the user to resize some portion of the container inside the web page itself. So if you want to have that field, we can have this outline offset and resize. I can have. So this is what resize property is here, resize both. So here the user can scroll up, scroll down, they can sync this or they can maximize this, that is using the resize. And this is what your outfit. So this is the outfit which is having pixel outside the border edge. And multiple columns, what is the use of this multiple column is used to divide the web page, some container into multiple columns, so that instead of displaying the content in a single column so that the user will scroll down and see, I put in a multiple columns in the same frame so that the user can easily view the full content in a single frame. That's the main use of the multiple column. To create this, we have to use this column count, column gap, column rule style. So if you have the column, so this is consider my full entire web page. Here I'm going to have one paragraph or some section something. So instead of putting the content in the vertical direction, I put in the horizontal way. So whatever display full content, there is no space, you display here, from here, you display here. So this I specify using 3. So number of columns 1, 2 and 3. So 2 and 3. And this is the gap between first column and the second column. What is the gap? Pixel is given. And rule style and rule width. So whether I should put in a double line, dotted line, what style I need and what is the thickness of that line. And color also I can tell. And column span, whether I need to span all the columns and put a title something I can put. And column width, what is the width of one column? I can specify that, right? Like that we can give the multiple columns I can generate. Next is the CSS3 style image properties, where I can fix the image as the border, right? So that is possible with the help of this border image. It has 3 things: image source, image slice, image repeat. Image source is nothing but your URL, image URL. So this one is image source. And image slice is nothing but whether we need to stretch it. So here the image is stretched. This is called slice. And this is repeat is the same flower is repeated multiple times. So this acts as a border for any content, right? So this can be achieved using this border image property. And next is multiple background image. So where we can see only one background, I can specify image. One image can be set as a background. Now there's a provision to have 2 images. So use a background image, first image comma second image, and you should tell the position of the first image and the second image and the origin of the first image, second image, and repeat or no repeat. So you can give more effects so that one will get on the center full page and one can sit on the corner of the page. So both at a time both will be visible as the background image. And text effects, shadow effect, if you want to give, we can use this 40. So this is my X, this is my Y, this is my radius, this is a dim preview. Since already we have seen the text property in our text attributes. And border, this border is whether we need a rounded border or rectangle border. If you want a rounded border, you should use this property border radius. So how much the radius? If this radius value is increased, more curved this will be. So this value, if you're giving more, this curve will be more. And transition allows you to change the property. So transition from one size to another size, one location to another location, one angle to another angle. So anything can happen. Transition from one form to another form, right? So this properties are transition, transition relay, duration property, and timing functions are here. So here in this, what happened here is I have transited from the smaller size image to larger size image. So for that I have set the transition width 2s, height is 4s. So from the 2s to 4s it has been transmitted. So on h over it is converted to larger. So these are the transition timing function. How to transit? E is linear, E is whether the transitions to start at the same speed and end at the same speed, or starts in a speed manner, do the transition in a slow manner and end in the slow manner. So that based on that you can specify these values for them, how the transition should happen. So this is another one, transform. Transition will make the transformation where we can rotate the information, images or content in any 360 degree, or on size also I can change. So this example, the transform, rotate 360 degree upside down and scale the size from 2 to 2. So double the size of the content what it is given. So this is the thing what we have a transition between the images. So from one image to another image I can make the transition here. Then 2D and 3D transformation. So when I'm performing transformation in the sense I can move from one place to another, I can rotate it, I can increase the scale and increase the angle, everything. And all these are done with the help of these functions. And matrix is a common function in which using a single function I can achieve all these features here. Okay. So this is a 3D transmission where we can perform third axis also. So for 2D means 2 axis, it is the 3 axis will be included in that. So it is transmitted to x axis 150 degrees, so it is upside down. And skew is to rotate your image to different angles. That is a skew. So for that our keywords like to specify the angle in the transformation. So you can skew effect you can see in your using your transform. Then comes finally to the media types and media queries. Media in the sense whether the output, the web page is viewed on the mobile devices or in the laptop or desktop. So based on the media, the content should be eh, display to the user, right? For that we should have some media queries. That media queries are written using media at media rule. So at media rule is used to determine the type and size of the device on which the pages are rendered. So it has max width, max device width, column count, column rule, min width. So the format is at media, the device name I should put handled, and the maximum size of the device is 480 pixel. And screen in the sense is a laptop or desktop, and maximum size everything. So this is the maximum size of the device and this is the maximum size of the window. So based on this, if this condition satisfies, make the column count to be 1. Within a single column, show me the output. Okay. Suppose I am going to see this in the bigger screen compared to this. What I can do in a multiple column. So my I have increased. My it is a size is large size 1024. Minimum is 480. That is more than that. Maximum is 1024. Then what I will do is make into two columns and display in the two columns. So wider screen size, I can display more information in a single frame. And even if it is in a big screen above 1025, then use in the 3 column. So based on the media and screen, I can shrink or I can expand, I can make into multiple columns with the help of this writing this media queries. Media queries can be written using media at media rule, right? So that's about the general discussion about our CSS3 and what are the new improvements in our CSS3 have been seen. So you just write these questions designing the web page and come up with the layout like this in the question and check what are the things you can use it to have the main menu and objects, event handling, everything, right? Thank you.